Hello, let's work on the 8-letter spelling rule. This spelling rule is kind of easy to remember because it resembles the 7-letter spelling rule. Basically, the 7 letters in the 7-letter spelling rule are all presented in the 8-letter spelling rule. And only letter which comes on top of this is C. So let's see our 7-letter spelling rule. G, K, H, Ž, Ch, Sh, Sh, and the new letter which comes is C. The 7-letter spelling rule, do you remember what was going on there? We should write always E and never U. And the 8-letter spelling rule says basically that we should always write A and not Ya, and always U and not U. Again, I want to emphasize that if you make a spelling mistake or pronunciation mistake, don't worry, everybody will understand you. This rule is more for grammatics because U, U, A, Ya, I, U sound kind of similar after those letters. And sometimes in Russian language, we pronounce U instead of I. So it's more or less explaining rule for you that you understand where this pronunciation comes from and why we write differently from the pronunciation. The 8-letter spelling rule with A instead of Ya and U instead of U is less frequent than the 7-letter spelling rule. However, it is a very important spelling rule. Let's work, let's exercise, and this exercise will be also a great pronunciation exercise for you, as well writing exercise. And think about this way. You get several possibilities how to memorize these letters and how to learn these rules. I prefer that you exercise a little bit more and write this letter somewhere on a slip of paper so you can refer to it every now and then. But you don't really need to memorize the letters right now. It is more important to exercise vocabulary and to understand what is going on inside the language. The right way of writing will come more or less naturally later on. So let's continue and write it with me, pronounce with me, and I'm really suggesting you to write these words and letter combinations later on after the lesson for yourself. Ga, Ka, Ха, Жа, Ча, Ша, Ща, and Ца. Let's try to pronounce these letters with Ya. Ga, Ka, Хя, Жа, Ча, Ша, Ща, Ца. Can you hear? I can, at some letters I cannot even pronounce Ya instead of A. So it is not always obvious which letter you should write after those letters. And this rule is exactly for this situation. You should always write A. And if you write these letter combinations 10 times, then probably you will remember this. Let's work with Gu, with the letter U. Gu, Ku, Hu, Žu, Ču, Šu, Shu, and Tsu. Let's try to pronounce it with U. Gu, Ku, Hu, Zhu, Chu, Shu, Shu, Tsu. With Ch, Sh, Sh, and Ts, it is impossible to pronounce U after those letters. Let's read them again. Ga, Ka, Ha, Ža, Cha, Ša, Ща, Ца. Gu, Ku, Hu, Zhu, Chu, Shu, Shu, Tsu. And let's do some examples, some real words. Чудо. Чудо. Чудо means miracle. Чудо. Чудо. Can you hear? I'm pronouncing it kind of with U, chudo. However, we write it with U, chudo. Miracle. Роща. Роща. Роща is grove, a small forest, a set of trees, group of trees. Роща. Час. Час. Час means hour. Час. After ch, we always write a. After sh, we always write a. Щука. Щука. Щука is fish, pike. You don't need to learn this word. However, you should know something about щука. Щука is a very famous Russian river fish, and we got a special soup made out of this fish. And probably if you will go to Russia, somebody will suggest to you to order this dish. Be aware, lots of bones, because it's a river fish. All river fishes in Russia got lots of bones. And this dish, the soup, is called uha. Uha is soup made out of щука. There are uha made out of different fishes, however, the original one should be made out of щука. And the region I'm coming from Rostov, central Russia, many people eat this soup. Щука. Шаг. Шаг. Шаг means step. Шаг. Step. Шуршит. Шуршит. Шуршит means rustles, the noise, rustles. And щупальца. Щупальца. After ц we write a. After sh we write u. With шуршит, after sh we write u. Щупальца is tentacle, like tentacle on an octopus. So you see, those words are not really helpful. You shouldn't memorize them. However, if you memorize them, it's perfect, it's excellent. You got a great memory. They're here more or less to exemplify for you that after g, k, h, zh, ch, sh, sh, and c, we should write i, a, and u, and always. So this is kind of easy rule. If you see these letters and you got a question, which one should I write? I or a or ya, u or you. Even if you hear ya, and you should always write I, a, or u. Again, let's pronounce them. Чудо, miracle, чудо, роща, grove, a small forest, час, hour, щука, pike, the Russian fish, pike, шаг is step, шуршит is rustles, and щупальца, tentacle. For you as foreigner, but also for many Russians, it is important to know some exceptions. For most of the rules in Russian language, we got exceptions. And the exceptions for those 7 and 8 letter spelling rules, there are foreign words and foreign names. Basically, if there is a foreign word, most likely it will be written with I, a, and u after the 7 or 8 letters. However, there are few exceptions, and those exceptions are like брошюра, жюри, parachute. So basically, foreign words where this rule is not valid. Those are absolute exceptions. Very little of those words. And if your name is written in the passport, I don't know, if you get some document with your name written in Cyrillic, sometimes it might happen that one of these letters will be following g, k, h, zh, ch, sh, sh, and c. Because foreign names are also an exception for the 7 or 8 letter rules. However, if you got any doubts, don't have those doubts, write I, a, and u after those letters.